Hello there, and welcome back to Skyblock. Last episode, we took this somewhat unassuming, classic Skyblock island and turned it into this circle we see here now. It's a pretty nice starting area, but there's a lot more work to do. For example, I pretty quickly take note that while the bridge that I have over to the trial chamber is functional, it is definitely not safe, and has already led to me dying once before. So, in preparation to make the bridge a bit safer, I grab a hopper and grab some chests to make an auto smelter, only somehow realizing after that I would need 3 hoppers to make it good, and at least 2 to make it work. Guess I'm getting 1 more iron then. Also, yeah, I have a hidden armor now, so I actually might wear some, which will hopefully reduce my death. But, since I need iron, that means I'm running off to the trial chamber again, because it's really the only place that I know I can get it from, except for very rarely from the mob farm, and I don't want to wait around that long. After arriving at the trial chamber, I'm happy to see that the spawners have reset, but I do struggle a little bit because I forgot to turn off the tool swapping mod that I had installed. That I honestly don't really remember why I had, except for maybe using in the cobblestone generator? But, it works out in the end. And so I just get on fighting more spawners, hoping to get iron either out of the spawner, which I don't even know if that's possible, or get it out of a vault, which I think is possible, but I could also be wrong on that one. And this was actually going pretty well. I got some husks, I got some slimes, I even got some bogged. But when I was fighting another bogged spawner, it went a bit downhill. And so of course I get the privilege of walking all the way back across the very unsafe bridge to get my stuff back. This is not the last time this is going to happen this episode either. But I do get revenge on the bug that murdered me, so I guess it's fine. And for a short bit, it was. I got some more loot, killed some more things, but then made a slight oopsie, and boom, bogged to death part 2. I come back to get my stuff and shoot the bogged that shot me. But, I'm gonna be honest, I'm pretty sure at some point I did forget what I was here for, but I got a little bit of iron, and I only really needed 1, so it works out. But even when I get home, I still have to fight things, as some pesky pillagers ended up on my island somehow. However, compared to the bogged, they are much easier to deal with, and they go pretty quick. After that and sorting my items away, I use my iron to make the second hopper so I can actually start melting all this stone down into smooth stone. Because I'm gonna need a lot of that for the bridge. With the few bridge materials I can get together quickly, I make my first couple bridge segments and extend out some logs. This is because I want to have a general idea of what it looks like, and also make sure it's gonna look good in the future. But this bridge should keep me much safer either way. Talking about getting things quickly, however, the auto smelter that I made is not fast in the slightest. So I'm getting rid of it already. Yeah, I know. I just made it, and I spent a lot of this video so far to get the iron to make this. But it sucks, so I'm getting rid of it. Instead of doing that, which is slow and bad, we're gonna go with the good old classic of furnace spam. Just place a ton of furnaces down next to each other and put stuff in them. It's a bit annoying to load, but it's faster, so it's better. Trust me. However, even with the upgrade of how I'm smelting things, this is still gonna take forever. See, up to this point, I've been pretty much building all of the segments one by one, which doesn't take super long since it's just one segment, but since each of these segments are about 10 blocks long, and the bridge in total I want to be 1,000 blocks long, this is gonna take a bit of time, and going back and forth over and over again 100 times to get 100 sections worth of materials isn't exactly efficient, and I'm a Factorio player, so things not being efficient is bad to me. And so, instead of doing that, I'm gonna try and collect all of the materials I need for the bridge all the way from the start, so that I can just build the bridge all the way at the end. I said that in a really dumb way, but hopefully you know what I mean. Because I'm hoping that if I collect everything in one go, I'll get in the zone more, I guess, so it'll be faster and more efficient. And then when I finish doing that, I can then just make the bridge all in one go, which will be easier and more efficient, I guess. Basically what I'm trying to say is, I'm trying to do it smarter, but it's still gonna be a huge amount of work. Part of the reason for the enormosity of the amount of work I'm gonna need to do though, isn't just because it's a lot of blocks to get, but because the ways that I can get these blocks is not the most efficient. For example, the cobblestone generator. In the way that cobblestone generators are made, at least in my experience, you end up losing about a third of all of your cobblestone to the lava, which sucks. Because it means you could be getting like an extra third. Wait a minute. I'm gaslighting you. I'm a liar. I may or may not have just forgot that I have a hopper on it and therefore the whole third thing doesn't matter, but otherwise what I said was true. But anyway, it's still really slow because I have to rely on a pickaxe, and that's slow. So, surely there's a better way, right? And believe it or not, ladies, gentlemen, and non-binary brethren, there is. But the problem is it has a bit of a material list associated, but it'll be worth it, trust me. That material list includes a fence gate, blocks, stair, slab, wall, leaves, a shear, singular, note block, red dust, chests, a string, bomb, button, dispenser, and then I'm going to hell, the nether, because I need observers, and that needs quartz, which you only get in the nether. And so, grabbing the obsidian from oh so long ago, I decide to just go to one of the points of the star and make a nether portal. Though, since I don't have a flint and steel or a fire charge, that means I have to use lava lighting, which always takes longer than I expect it to. But with the portal finally lit, I can grab some blocks from the chest and run over to the nether to get my nether quartz, and definitely nothing could possibly go wrong because it's the nether, and the nether is a happy, friendly place. My portal ends up spawning in pretty much right next to a bastion, which works out for me since I'm here for nether quartz. See, I'm pretty sure I can get quartz out of the chests, but even if I can't, I can get gold out of the bastion and trade with the piglins in the bastion, and they might give me quartz. So either way, I should be able to get quartz out of this, with the only slight danger of it having piglin brutes in it, which are like one of the most dangerous enemies in the game, but like, I'm professional, so clearly nothing will go wrong. After returning and gathering my stuff after that slightly embarrassing death, I go and actually do that whole trading thing I was talking about with a piglin, though I make sure to keep behind slabs and, you know, be safe about it. Oh, but don't you worry, I head right back into the nether. I stab that brute under the slabs after getting all my stuff back, and nothing at all could possibly go wrong because now surely I'm cautious enough to not die again. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, I don't do very good at the whole surviving thing pretty much the entire time I'm in the bastion. I died an unfortunate amount of times. However, after a lot of Bastion raiding and some Piglin trading, and stealing lava from the Bastion for later use, and greed, unfathomable greed, I do finally leave. Because as fun as raiding the Bastion is, I have more important things to do, which is finishing the advanced cobblestone generator, which also needs 2 pistons and those 2 observers I was talking about, 2 tripwire hooks, 2 lava. I got some dirt, but I actually didn't need that. The tutorial lied to me, that just needed temporary blocks, and I didn't think about it. And then we're immediately dropping into the next clip, where I'm over a new trial chamber. Yeah, I need more iron again. See, I made the iron collecting last time kinda feel like a waste, because I didn't end up actually using the auto smelter, but the cobblestone generator that I'm making requires 12 hoppers, so it wasn't a waste, because I still need 9 more hoppers, including the one that's in the old cobblestone generator. As I enter the first room, it has an empty chest in it. For some reason. I still don't know why these spawn in the trial chambers. I don't know if it's a bug that's like a 1.20 thing, or 1.21 thing, but I get a lot of empty chests in here. But otherwise, it's time for usual raid shenanigans. In the first chamber, we have a stray spawner and a breeze spawner, and I die of bone person. But I make a shield before heading back and trying again, and defeat both spawners. I thief from all of the dispensers, because I actually have some nice stuff in them. Not stuff that I can use anytime soon, but useful stuff nonetheless. Then I find empty chest number 2 and empty chest number 3, do some pot blasting, got a diamond block out of one of those pots, and then another empty chest. Powder snow room, bad vibes, do not enter. Baby zombie spawner, shake it. Zombie spawner, smack it. Baby zombie spawner, they finally figured out how to climb ladders, unfortunately for me. Have a little bit of a pause of processing that. Forgot to unpause, now back, baby zombie's dead. Bad mangrove tree, 2 bad chests, pool, but no water. Store items near entrance, vault 1 and 2, vault 2 had a diamond chest plate in it. Vault 3, store more items. Vault 4, Blub Blub water section, we love this one. Empty chest, we don't love this one. Stray spawner, Sleege, powder snow room, lot of strays. Stray spawner, getting shot hurts, leave. Run into more stray spawners, 1 down, vault. And I'm gonna stop narrating this because I think we're just gonna run through the rest of this in montage as if because script writing me is falling asleep. I don't know what's going on. But after all that looting, I did get a good amount of materials, though not enough iron for all the hoppers that I need, so that's not gonna be the end of all the looting I need to do. So I'm gonna need to find something more. And so, here we are at the stronghold. Yeah, with Distant Horizons and a Skyblock world, it's weirdly easy to find, I guess. And yeah, here it is. So I'm gonna loot this next, and try and go through that pretty quickly. Entering into the stronghold, I find pants box, 2 gold in a box, I glock that skelly, blade apple bread box, apple box, nice portal. Ignore it. Library box A, library box B, hat blade box, library B box A. That is a bonkers enchanted book, by the way. Library B box B. Punch a bone dude into hell, and away we go. I do stop by the second trial chamber real quick just to exchange loot, which takes a while because I only want to carry the best stuff back home, and there's a lot of good stuff. And also I run into the problem where there's a lot of mediocre stuff that I don't really care about, but for some reason it's in my inventory, so I don't want to let go of it. So it takes longer than it probably had to. But after grabbing the things that I do want, I head back home and finally make the hoppers I need for the advanced cobble gen. And guess what? I still need one more hopper. And so with this, I bridge out again, attempt to raid an ocean ruin, get confused, leave and raid a shipwreck instead, and it, fortunately, has enough iron for that last hopper, so I can finally move on from this side quest. Now, I would talk about how this thing works, but I'm gonna be honest, I'm not really sure how this thing works. You got the bottom platform that has lava on it that flows into the water leaves, which make cobblestone over the hoppers, and then there's the TNT duper above it, which I can never understand how these things work. But basically, it drops TNT at the exact same time that cobblestone is made, and it does this because it's using like a lava clock that I also have never seen before, and it's pretty interesting because it uses disabled tripwire, which feels weird, but hey, it works and you can turn it off and on, which is probably good because this thing is really loud and I don't want it running in the background of all my recordings, but it works, and it should make gathering cobblestone much, much faster. Yeah, and it's just a little bit scary. I believe it makes about 12 cobblestone per blast. It might be a little less with like the hopper delay, and maybe some of the cobblestone is getting blown up. But it's either way infinitely faster than using a pickaxe on one piece of cobblestone. With that set up, I can dismantle the old cobblestone generator and get back to chopping trees while the greater, much better cobblestone generator is going, because I still need to make those bridges. And these two materials are the raw materials of literally everything I need for those bridges, so I'm gonna need a lot of them. However, as I was chopping those trees, I suddenly realized that the cobblestone farm is suddenly broken, because all of the leaf blocks just suddenly disappeared. Okay. Being very confused by whatever just happened, I decide to just go and collect the rest of the trees in a slightly uncomfortable silence. After doing that though, I return to the cobblestone generator and try replacing where the leaves were with copper grates, as the only semi-sane thing I can think happened is that the leaves somehow burned all at the same time and deleted the water, even though I don't think that can happen or is how that works. I turn the cobblestone generator back on after doing so, and it just works, and it doesn't have any problems again, at least so far. So guess the water burned. After a while of running it, and taking some to put in different chests, because I want to smelt most of this down. In fact, I'm probably gonna need a lot more than this. Yeah, I turned the cobblestone generator off because I don't want it running really at all while I'm recording, because it's kinda really annoying to listen to, and unfortunately, blasting is not a sound option I can turn down. But with the need of a lot of smelted items comes the need for a lot of fuel, so I start harvesting a bunch of big jungle trees. I'm using jungle trees both because you have a big tree variant, which means you can get a lot more wood faster, but also because I don't want to use oak wood, because I want to keep that separate, because I'm going to need a lot of that too for the bridges. But now I can actually start gathering all the materials I need for this first bridge. gathering some odds and ends, and then crafting a bunch of fences, then crafting the wood slabs, then the stone brick walls, then the fence gates, then the smooth stone bricks, then the oak logs. There's a wandering trader here. That's not part of the bridge building, but I do buy everything he has except the dye. And I cook up more charcoal because, oh boy, am I gonna need it. And with all that finally being finished, I can now build the first bridge. And yeah, you might have heard me say first bridge a couple times now, and that's because I'm actually gonna build 4 bridges, each 1,000 blocks long, in each cardinal direction around the circle. Because why not? Also, yeah, I'm using Lightmatica again to build all these bridge segments, but don't let that fool you into thinking that this was a short or quick endeavor. This one bridge took an hour and a half to build front to back, though to be fair, the other 3 don't take quite as long since I have the full blueprint and get a little bit more accustomed to building it. And with the first bridge built, that means we are right back to farming materials again. Cause yeah, I'm gonna need to do that 3 more times, which means I'm gonna need all those materials 3 more times. But I won't bore you with the length of that because the material list is not tiny. Small amount of pieces, but a lot of those pieces, I guess. So let's just skip right to the building part. And with those 2 bridges built, we're down to the last one. With that being done, that should be the end of the episode for today. If you're wondering, it takes 3 minutes and 14 seconds for me to run from one end of a bridge to the center of the island. So yeah, they're decently long. Before I fully sign off, however, I would like to say a thank you for just being here and watching my videos, especially if you've made it here to the end. The last video that I did on this series has gotten a lot more attention than I originally expected. 1,000 views for the first time on my channel, and I know in the grand scheme of things, like in big YouTube land, that's not very much, but with how big the competition for the Minecraft space is, I was sort of expecting that video to not do very well. So to the people who watched it and the people who are still here watching now, even if you're not subscribed or anything, just thank you for coming by and watching. But let's not get too sentimental. Let's just finish the outro, alright? So, I'm planning on being back, hopefully not too far from now. And I have another Minecraft project underway also, so if you're curious about that, feel free to stop by. It should be out hopefully in the next couple weeks, but we'll see how it goes. But that's enough rambling for today. So, if you liked the video, like. If you didn't, don't. It's not that big a deal. But for now, I'll see you next time, and farewell.